Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. My name is Alfred Amuzu. Welcome to the Ghana Agenda. To start today's show, I want to take this opportunity to wish my lovely daughter a happy birthday. Today's your birthday, November 5th. And I'm talking about here Adam Amuzu. I know I'm not there to celebrate with you, but I'm sure mommy has made some good food and you are enjoying with your sisters and brothers. All right, happy birthday, Adam. Okay, so today we are having a very important show. We are talking to the chairperson or the chairman of NDC Massachusetts in the person of Kojo Aggor. After we talk to Kojo Aggor, we'll switch quickly to speak about what we heard from the president, I think about a week ago, where he addressed the nation and discussed solutions that he believed would get us out of our current situation of high inflation, high prices, and hardship generally. So what I'm going to do now is take a quick break, and then when we come back, I can see my guest in studio already. We'll bring him in and start the conversation. If you haven't already done so, please share the link so that others who may be interested can also enjoy the show. And also, don't forget to subscribe so that whenever we come on live, you are notified and you can join us and enjoy the show. Also, your contributions are very important. They make the show interactive and they help me stay on focused and, of course, engage our guest in the best of ways. We will be right back to start the conversation.
Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid Health Insurance Program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. Documents needed to apply: your proof of ID, your proof of address, and your proof of income.
Just one more pic, JJ, please.
Oh, Mama, really?
Smile. It's not every day my eldest son graduates.
I couldn't have done it without you.
All without Auntie Jane's generous support.
Here is to Auntie Jane's well-appreciated World Remit money transfers.
World Remit Corporation is licensed as a money transmitter by the New York State Department of Financial Services, as a foreign transmittal agency by the Massachusetts Division of Banks, number FT 1179663, and licensed by the Georgia Department of Banking and Finance, NMLS 1179663, Massachusetts Foreign Transmittal License, FT 1179663.
World Remit, a better way to send money. Download the app or visit worldremit.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. Again, my name is Alfred Amuzu. This is the Ghana Agenda. If this is the first time you're watching, this is a political show dedicated to Ghana. But today we are doing something different. We are speaking to the chairperson of NDC Massachusetts branch. His name is Chairman Kojo Aggor. So he's in the studio. I'm going to introduce him now, bring him to the green room, or bring him out of the green room so we can start the conversation. Please share the link. I've already started sharing myself, but with your help, we can get a lot more people to watch the show. Without further ado, let me bring in Chairman Aggor for the discussion. Welcome to the show, Chairman Aggor. How are you today? You're looking good.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Muzu. Thank you very much.
Right. Is it snowing in Massachusetts today, or what is the weather looking like?
Oh, it's nice and warm. That's why I don't have a jacket on.
I see. Good to have you. This is the first time you are joining us. So I know you are currently the chairman of the Massachusetts branch of NDC. But, I want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your background. For instance, I would say I am born in Aflao. I went to St. Paul Secondary School, University of Cape Coast, studied accounting. And then I will also say one interesting thing about me is I am a huge Manchester United fan. So in that format, please tell us about yourself.
All right. Let me take the opportunity to extend warm greetings from Massachusetts to your very cherished listeners, both home and abroad. And also, I've just found out that it's your daughter's birthday, and I want to wish her a happy birthday as well.
Thank you so much.
As you indicated earlier, my name is Kojo Aggor, currently chairman of NDC Massachusetts branch here in the United States. And I'm putting myself up to serve in the position of chairman of the chapter here in the USA as a hopeful candidate. I am a father of two, and my children, I can say, are my greatest achievement, my love and joy. They are both in college right now. I'm also a husband, married, obviously, and been with my wife for 31 years. I'm a Christian, and I believe in the teachings of Christ as well. And I follow an ideology of a social democracy, putting up a socialist government through democratic, peaceful means, using existing established forms of government. Now, I was born in Accra, in Ghana. My parents, my father is from the Volta region, Chitwa Udome. My mother is Fanti. She's from Anamabu. And I have 2 brothers and a sister as well. The 2 brothers live in the United States.
Okay.
But I believe this is mostly about me, so I'll try to keep it on introducing myself. I went to school in Worcester here in Massachusetts, Worcester State University, where I studied history and political science. Much recently, when I considered running for higher leadership here within the chapter, because I live here, I took a course at the Ghana Institute of Social Democracy, which is the party school, where I graduated with an advanced political leadership and party organization certificate. So that gave a much more certified insight of the runnings of party organization, party leadership. As you know, there's no education qualification for running for political office, so I don't intend to tout those over here, but much more focus on party affairs in terms of leadership. I've had the opportunity to lead Massachusetts branch, and quite recently, as recent as Sunday past, we had our branch elections in line with the party requirements for election to be run around this time, and then moving on to chapter as is happening in Ghana as well. And so I was retained as chairman of my branch, and I believe that will do it for the introduction for now.
All right, perfect. You didn't tell us. Well, I was also actually anxiously looking forward to some interesting fact about you.
Okay.
What is that? Are you a Chelsea fan? What do you do for fun? What is that interesting fact that if you are doing, we should not disturb you?
Well, I think I left out an important part as well. I run my own business set up in 2011 with my
Okay.
wife.
Okay.
So, like I said, I've been with my wife for 31 years. And
Okay.
I have the great opportunity of meeting her every day because we work together, we run the business together here in Massachusetts. One thing my friends say about me is that I'm quite boring because there are a few things I don't know how to do. And one of them, or a few of them, are dancing. I'm not very good at dancing, so my feet are not very swift, probably like yours, Mr. Muzu. Also, with the football part, when it comes to sports, I'm more of the type that does a lot of reading. I like more current affairs, historical, biographies. I like to read. I like to read a lot. So I fall short when it comes to the sports part. Even though I attended college here, most of the college students were used to talk about football, American football. I never was able to get interested in that. Singing as well. I'm not good at singing. I think I can only sing the national anthem, but with a very bad voice. So don't get me to try to sing the patriotic national anthem as well. Another thing that friends say about me is I don't smile when I'm taking photographs. Because I don't want to. It's just that I don't know how to. So maybe some of you and some of my friends who have tried many times, even coming on this show, my secretary here at the branch, Secretary Paul DeSoso, had clearly indicated to me, Chairman, when you go on Mr. Muzu's show, make sure you are smiling and don't have a very serious face. I am attempting to do that, believe me.
I mean, this is a relaxed show, so just relax.
I am very relaxed. It's just that I don't know how to do the smiling. And I think people take it to mean something different when one is very serious. Yes.
Okay. Cool. So just a quick follow-up to some of the things you said. You said you have a business that you run. You've been retained as the Massachusetts branch NDC chair, and you're also going for the chair of the chapter. How do you find time for all this, and how would you find time to be available to execute what I see to be 3 different demanding tasks?
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much for that question. You see, everybody has their strengths, and as we live in this country, you yourself live here as well. There's a lot of demand when it comes to even just being a student. And, more so being a worker, working for someone. I am happy to say I own a small business, so I'm able to find the time. I must say that this year I've been to Ghana 3 times. I don't think any of us who is working will really have the time, unless business is sending you to Ghana, for example, other travels. So I'm able to find the time to do that. And one must have the passion and the dedication as well to offer themselves for such service. And you must also have a very supporting wife as well, who might not be thinking that you're wasting a lot of money in doing, public service, even if it's got to do with something that you have a passion for. I've always told her that she's a very, a Christian, and likes to do a lot of prayers and all that. And I've always told her that it's a passion that she has. I'm not going to go say to her, don't do your singing and don't do your praises and all that. So the little that you can do for me, I don't do the football, the singing, and all these other things. And if it's time that I need to be able to spend with my comrades and offer my service, well, why not? So I get a lot of support from there. That is how I'm able to do this. And then moving on into the chapter as well, of course, it's going to be very demanding. Nobody is saying that it's going to be very easy. But somebody has to do it. And people who have assessed their background and see that, hey, they have the time and the commitment to be able to do this, I think they should be encouraged to do that. And that is what I am doing.
Perfect. All right. Okay. So I don't know how long you've been in the NDC. I think that is one fact that is missing as well. So tell us, how long have you been in the NDC? And in addition to that, who has influenced your political career the most? People have political godfathers. Some were introduced by a friend. Who, to you, is the greatest influence on your political career?
Okay, so I think it's a two-part question, so
Right.
I'll go back a little bit. So I had begun political activity in '97 from
Okay.
my branch back in Ghana within
Mm-hmm.
the whole West constituency, a constituency called the
Right.
Methodist primary branch, and that is where actually that is the area that we come from, and I got involved in that. The reason why I got involved was my father was a career officer,
Mm-hmm.
was a police commissioner in charge of CID. They call them directors of CID now. He was there for 11 years. And he forbade us from doing political activity because he believed that as a career officer, you should be serving the government of the day. And
Right.
so, secretly, I was with friends and trying to go for some of those meetings. It was exciting for me. But people tend to think that political godfathers and people who have influenced your political thinking and ideology must always be from your party. As much as we respect those leaders within our party who have influenced us, one person that has really influenced my thinking is President Nkrumah, who he was a prime minister, became president in 1960. President Nkrumah, I followed him a lot, and if you give me some time, I would explain why I think is an influence on my political thinking and ideology.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here's a man, and as you know, coming to the United States, yourself, myself, and others who have come here.
Right.
For those who came here as students, it's very difficult to get into the embassy, produce paperwork, and then unless you're probably on a government scholarship, you still have to go through the process to get into this country.
Right.
And you find a young student who is finished school, done a bit of teaching, had very little savings, and in 1933, he decides to come to the United States. Realized that there was no cell phone and your iPads and your Google Maps and even the location of the U.S. embassy not being available over there. So how did he get to United States? That's a very fascinating question to ask. So he boarded a ship, as a stowaway. You and I will not take that
risk.
risk of jumping on a ship and just going to the unknown.
Right.
But here's a man from a colony was able to take such a risk and found himself in a different country. Imagine yourself in a country like India, not knowing anybody over there. Yes, you might know England and some of the other big countries, but you find yourself in England. In India. What are you going to do? And he's from a colony. Okay, a black African finds himself in England, finds himself where the ship landed in Bristol, and made his way to the U.S. embassy in the capital in London to begin to fill forms for a U.S. student visa to enter United States, taking another ship across the channel to get to United States. Now, even today, new immigrants will get into JFK, and it's very confusing to navigate where to get to your gate. And this is a colonial citizen, British colonial citizen, getting into New York and making his way to Pennsylvania to a school. It is not like a MapQuest or Google Maps or something like that, but he makes his way over there.
Right.
Attains a great education there for 4 years and does his master's. And then at that time becomes the leader of the African Students Association. There's no political institution that is going to teach you how to become a president or, a leader of government. But he learned all those things when he was president of that African Student Association, where you have your secretary, you have your treasurer. These things are all applicable in government. And then having this in mind, realize that this is the time of colonies. Most students who had entered the United States and in Great Britain, there were two. For those who went to Britain to be indoctrinated, and then for those who came to United States, like President Nkrumah, who wanted the American Republican form of ideology, because you look into the systems, and his system was, look, he did not want to be educated in Britain, to be indoctrinated. He wanted to see which countries at that time had been able to extricate themselves from British colonial rule. And America was one of those. In 1776, they had, started revolutionary wars to attain independence from Great Britain. So they were the only ones who had done that. So as a student, you have a vision. And the vision is, I want to study, equip myself, in terms of intellectual education, go back to my country and fight for colonial freedom. So such a person is an influence. He had every opportunity to have a free education to UK, to go learn the British way of government and continue to be in the colonial system. But he said, no, let me find another country which will teach me Republican form of ideologies that I will go to use to be able to extricate myself from British. So he did that. And then finally realized that the War II was happening, 1939 to 45, World War II was happening. And he's studying around this time. Even now, we have difficulty in terms of studies, especially when there's a war, things are disrupted. But he was able to move through as a colonial citizen, and then was able to achieve what he wanted. He set his mind to be able to gain education and go back. And unlike some people who come to have education and continue to stay, he decided to go back to the colony. And he went to England in 1945, just when the war ended. And then he was called to be General Secretary of the UGCC. By 1947, he had arrived in Ghana and began to work with the elite, but realized that the elite were students of British system. So the elite had studied, got their PhDs, big merchant class, all from Britain. So they wanted to continue the colonial process sometime in the future. But as an American, we mow the lawns ourselves, we shovel the snows ourselves. Nobody does that for us. And that is what we have learned over here, you and I, here in the United States. So he brought that new idea into the colony and thought that it was too slow for him in 1947. Those elite guys were too slow. So by 2 years, when he arrived in 1949, he formed his own political party. And that is why you asked me who's been my political influence. 2 years of arrival in Ghana. As a student who has finished school, he had his own political party. Can you imagine? No fax machines, no, emails.
So it takes quite a bit of organization skills, right?
And he's able to organize a political party across the length and breadth of the entire colony, and to be able to wrestle power by 1951 from the hands of the British. The British was an empire that even by 1776 were in charge of the United States, and single-handedly, with the support of his party members, Kojo Aggor, for example, were able to, gain independence for us. But remember that in 1951, he attempted independence now, it didn't work. And it didn't work, but he was a true politician. He said, even though I am fighting for independence now, and it hasn't worked, okay, it is better to stay within to make a change than to be outside. So he continued to stay on as leader of government business. The British still continued to have control of defense, trade, and foreign affairs, but he worked with them. 6 years later, 1957, you and I, March 6, gained independence. So a person like that is a great influence on my political thinking. Yes, there might have been mistakes that he had made, but those were the times that he lived in. He might have made, certain decisions based on the time that he lived in. Remember, that was the Cold War, was following World War II. You have the West, and you have capitalism and communism at a struggle, and everybody was fighting for. So it depends on which side you were, you will be seen as the enemy. It depends, and so I will leave it as that. But that is my greatest political influence, on my political career.
Awesome. That is really crash course in Kwame Nkrumah history. Now I know who to come to learn more about Kwame Nkrumah. Let's turn to Massachusetts, where you currently are the branch chairperson. You've been a branch chairperson, and I'm sure this is going to be your second term. Is that correct?
Yes, I've just recently started the second term.
Okay, so walk us through some of the responsibilities that you have there as a branch chairperson that prepared you for the position you are running for.
Okay, so number one thing is you have to find a time, assess yourself, and talk to family members and friends, and seek their opinion, even though the decision rests on you. But you can't do anything by yourself when you don't have the support. And so one of the first responsibilities, is as a branch chairman, is to try to grow the branch or maintain the gains that you have.
Right.
Another responsibility will be to chair meetings and try to seek solutions for problems, at the branch, even if it's aside the, the regularly budgeted funds. And it involves financial. You need to try to step in to do that. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is to provide direction for the branch.
Right.
Provide direction for the branch, and that is the most important responsibility. So once you have respect for your branch members, and you are bringing them in to be part of decision making, decentralizing that, but providing direction, things go pretty smoothly. And that is what has been happening here in Massachusetts. That does not mean that there are no opposition or dissenting views, but these dissenting views are welcome. It is addressed, we speak about it, and we find a common goal moving forward.
Right. Okay. So just to piggyback off that, what do you say is your biggest achievement politically? It could be things you did in Massachusetts or elsewhere. What is that one thing that you want to be known for as one of your biggest political achievements as of today?
Okay. So as a branch chairman living in Massachusetts, I am part of NDC USA chapter.
Correct.
And so USA chapter represents us when it comes to matters with the national party in Accra, which is the NDC party.
Right.
So my focus will be, if its achievements, will be what has happened within the region that I live.
Right.
And I live here within the NDC USA structure. Back in 2017 into 2018, there was a split within the NDC USA. And the NDC USA main obviously was called the NDC USA. The breakaway was called the coalition. Then it was called the coalition. And so, as you know, united we stand. We are stronger if we are united. Right. National Party Office recognize that. And they've been saying this all the time. USA, you guys are always fighting here and there. That's the tag that we have. And they saw it necessary by 2017 that we're going to be moving into an election in 2020. And so it is obvious that when we come together, it will be a good thing. Now, I realize that these two sides, I will not go too much into detail, but these two sides had opposing views.
Right.
And so for any bilateral talks to proceed, one will have to have a common ground to be able to move forward.
Right.
And it became necessary at the time that there was an agreement. And let me not take this lightly, because a lot of my colleagues put in a lot of efforts in order to make this common ground very possible.
Right.
They needed, the agreement was that 4 members or 4 comrades from the breakaway, which was called the coalition, and 4 members from the main NDC USA, and then a commonly agreed one person as chairman. That person happened to be me. So then in 2017, the 2 opposing sides at least were able to reach one common agreement, which is to have one person to lead the peace talks towards unification. And this process began and ended in Atlanta, where the foundations of democratic unity was laid in Atlanta.
Right.
And the pillars of democracy were erected, and I was part of it. I had elected then not to run for any position, to maintain the integrity of the process,
Right.
then in 2018. So once that process was finished, we had new leadership, which we currently still have,
Right.
which Massachusetts branch, including myself, have supported, because it is important to support these structures, not the individual who may at any given time occupy such a position. It is imperative that we maintain the structures and try to align our work with national party affairs. That is the only way we can become relevant and be able to have a seat at the decision-making table when it comes to national party. So I am proud. If you ask me what has been a great achievement, I see that within the context of the NDC USA chapter politics and those who are stakeholders, that I was able to contribute my widow's mite towards unification. And as you know, in 2022, this is the first time that we are going to test that democratic principles, that, or the pillars of democracy that was erected on those unification foundation. This is the first time that we're going to test it. And I'm happy to offer myself as candidate servant of the people here in the United States.
Awesome. All right. So let's take a quick break so you can get some water to drink. I know you've been on for the last 30 minutes. I want to relax the vocal cords. We'll be right back to continue with Chairman Aggor, who's been telling us some great things, his achievements, his background, and etc. He's going to come back for the rest of the conversation. I would like to ask him the difficulties we currently have in the branch and what solutions he may bring once he has the opportunity or once he's lucky enough to become the next chairman. We'll be right back.
Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid Health Insurance Program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. Documents needed to apply: your proof of ID, your proof of address, and your proof of income.
All right, welcome back to the show. Again, my name is Alfredo Muzu, and you're on the Ghana Agenda. We've been talking to Chairman Aggor, who is currently re-elected as the chairperson of NDC Massachusetts branch. He's running for NDC USA chapter chairman, and he's talking to us. It's been very interesting so far. We got to know about his small business that he's influenced by Kwame Nkrumah. He also told us the one significant thing he did, which is, bringing the party back together when at some point in the 2016 timeframe or so, he said that the party was divided. We would continue that conversation. If you haven't already done so, please share the link so that others can join us. Welcome back, Mr. Chairman Aggor. Chairman, so as we've been saying, you told us some of the things that you did that are very significant, and I agree that yes, it's not a small feat bringing a divided house back together, and the fact that you didn't you sacrificed yourself not to run at that time just to maintain the integrity of the party and the process, but this time you felt that you want to run and test the principles and the pillars that you've erected in Atlanta. That is what I've gotten so far. Now, I want to continue with kind of getting to understand what you, from your opinion, are some of the difficulties with the chapter as we have it now. And to follow that up with, when you are lucky to become the next chairman of the chapter, what are the solutions that you bring aboard? What are some of the ideas that you think you would introduce to deal with the difficulties that you believe we are faced with at this chapter?
Okay, so thank you very much for the question. In every human institution, there will be difficulty, and then you must always try to improve, find solutions for such difficulties. There might be a very tall list, but those tall lists is all part of the deepening or the growth of such an organization. So we can't say that we are where we have to be. We can always continue to improve. And so I'll just touch on one or two. And what I'll say is that when it comes to these elections right now, this is what I have noticed, at least. We are finding difficulty for getting a venue, even though we have recently gotten a date. Usually, it takes a while. There's always been this notion here when we are in the United States that when you purchase your flight ticket ahead of time, it is a likelihood that you will get some good deals.
Correct.
So it puts an extended burden on our comrades when maybe 2 weeks to an election, a venue is procured, and then we now have to make preparation. Some companies will require a number of days or weeks in order for you to take a vacation. And it is this time that you're going to need if you really want to be part of the history-making event of the testing of those democratic pillars laid in 2018. And you want to be part of it. It's a historical moment. It's the first time that we are doing that as a following unification. And so you want to be there. But then you are uncertain because you don't know what to do. For example, I'll make myself as an example. I've been to Ghana 3 times this year. I was scheduled to be in Ghana December 1st. Eventually, then I found out that election date is being shifted to 2nd to the 4th. Yes, I can still make it, same 4th, depending on whatever the outcome, I'm still going to be there, or even make it on the 5th. But as of last night when I checked it, for me, was 1,700 for the price difference. So one is not able to plan ahead. Now, if we had known this ahead of time, then we would have made proper plans. So the problems we have which I can touch on one, is the predetermination of a venue and a place right after election. If this was done 4 years ago, like you play a football game, we know when the World Cup is going to happen again and in the country. So those who want to start saving one CD, will be able to accumulate that cash by that time and be able to make their plans. It is one of the things that we want to do. We predetermine when such conferences are going to happen. It's going to remove the acrimony. It's going to remove the fights. Because at the time we have just had an election, we predetermine where we're going to hold the next election. And probably there's not even any candidate coming from there because nobody is going to declare, because nominations have been open on that very day or the day after, within the week that elections have happened. So that is something which is kind of a challenge that working together, we can all be able to surmount. It is not up to the person who has put himself up for leadership we can come up with such a solution. It is a collective discussion. We have to look at decentralizing everything from the chapter and involving the branches as well. Because as you know, as branch elections are going on, you have new branch leadership, those who knew and know the history from 4 years ago, and the new people who are coming in. They're coming in with a new vibrancy, new ideas, and all these have to be embraced to be able to build a chapter. So the question is, the challenge, keeping it very short because of time, challenges, predetermination of venue is one of them. And what would you bring on board? Through discussion, we can try to predetermine these things, as we move on.
Okay, perfect. So I can hear your pain in the fact that you have to pay $1,700 extra just to acquire a ticket to go to Ghana, just because the venue hasn't been determined, and there wasn't a specific date pre-announced for all the people who are running. I can see why that definitely is challenging.
Yeah, so I want to clear that. It's not the amount which is being paid. It is the change, the price difference. The ticket is already purchased. The departure was to arrive on December 1st. Because of we don't have a predetermined date, definitely if you want to be part of the process, you will need to cough that up to be able to move. So that is where we are. Among other things.
Right, great. Now, talking about the challenges of the party, let's talk about the challenges for yourself. Let's talk about what the biggest regrets that you have with regards to politics is. What is your biggest regret in the number of years you've spent in politics so far?
Okay, well, you see, when you have a passion for doing something, it's very difficult to find regrets, even though it is very normal and human-like to have some regrets. Now, one would say, if I had not made the decision not to run, one could argue from the point that there would have been more competition, because I was part of the NDC USA structure. My regrets really would be that even though I had a good standing within the NDC USA structure, because my colleagues had agreed from both sides to let me head what then was called the 9-member committee, I lost a lot of friends from the USA group, because the argument at the time from the USA, the main structure USA group was, if you haven't followed the process and you have broken away, why should we give you the chance to come and be dictating to us? And we have our guy over there who is leading the process. Why can things not go our way? But if I had done anything different, I would not be sitting here in front of you trying to tell you that I'll be running for chapter chair. There were clear directives that came from Accra. And implementing those clear directives to the letter made me a lot of enemies within my own USA structure. And up until now, even though I have made overtures through intermediaries to reach some of them, it has still continued to be very difficult. But I believe that when all things being equal, I am elected as the chairman of the NDC USA chapter. I may be able to have another opportunity to be able to reach out to those old colleagues who feel injured along the line, and who can be brought to the forefront to be able to help with all the experiences that they have, which is sitting at home in their bedrooms, can bring it on board, that we can all work together towards 2024. So that is what I would say.
Right. Okay. Good. Well, one thing we know that the US chapter usually is very helpful with this is fundraising. The chapter is able to support national during times of election, or during times of rebuilding of the party, whether it's the party headquarters or things that the party needs to run, we usually, put together resources from here and send to Ghana to help for those purposes. Have you had experience fundraising or do you have any mechanisms or plans towards how you are going to help gather resources from the US to assist in Ghana when that is needed?
Okay, thank you for that question.
Right.
For any administration, this will be a general question, and funds are always needed by the national party. To run a political party, you need human resources, number one, capable people in positions that will come up with innovative ideas to run a government. And then you would also need money, whether it's coming from the in office, whether it's coming from the consolidated fund and directed somewhere else, or fundraising aside. So it's a very legitimate question. We must always, as foreign branches, position ourselves to be able to meet those two requirements, which is the human resource capability, and then also the financial aspect of it. In Massachusetts in 2017, we were able to organize some fundraising. It was on a pilot basis to see how best that could work. Most human beings do not want to pay money or be part of a fundraiser in perpetuity, which means that there is no end date. So, for example, in a church, also we have a harvest, and then you start and then you finish. It is not continuous fundraising until you go into your grave. So we have to be very careful when it comes to fundraising. We identify a target. Once we identify that, we fundraise towards that. In this case, will be the 2024 election. We fundraise towards that. But I can only focus on what I've done before, and like I said, on a pilot basis. We had I came up with this initiative called $1 a day.
Right.
The $1 a day was based on 5 working days, and this is aside from the constitutionally mandated dues that we have. And so if you buy your petrol, or Ghana say petrol, if you buy your gas and then you have a change of $1.35, we are asking you to put the $1 aside. If you buy coffee on your way to work, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, you put the $1 aside. In the end, the easy concept that we are trying to achieve is that within the 5 working days per individual member, you would have raised $5 in that week. And then if you project it to 4 weeks, you are expected to be able to raise $20 in that week. If you multiply that by 12, which is in a year, 2, 12, 24, you would have raised $240 per member, aside your constitutionally mandated dues of $10 a month, which would give us 120. Now the 240, if we start January, I would say January 1st to December 31st, 2024, that is going to give us per one person, 240 times 2 will be 480. Now, as a candidate, I don't have access to all branch data or chapter data. So it'll be difficult to give you the scaling of that. So I'm basing it on 1. And so the 240 for the year can be multiplied by 2 will be 480. If you do a rough calculation, it is very, very phenomenal to be able to raise such at small increments, $1 a day. Now, if you are somebody who is a very busy man like Mr. Muzu and cannot be piling up $1 a day, you can decide to give $20 a month or be able to pay for the year 240. But we must avoid this case whereby it is now election year and then we are now trying to collect or raise those monies. We know we'll be needing that money in 2024, and so therefore we start early. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. So the 1,000-mile journey to 2024, let us start it now. And for us to start it now, we need to present the figures for our members here in the USA which is our constituency, to buy into that. Once they buy into that, it is easy to give and part with a $1. And when you understand the concept, you'll be able to part with that. And that is something that we can do to be able to raise those monies. Thank you.
Well, great answers so far. Time has fast been spent. I can't believe we are already in 51 minutes, but I still have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
The very last two, let me go with the first one first, would be, what are the programs that you want to bring as a chairman? I mean, you've told us all some of the suggestions, like fixing the date for the election is a very key and very important thing for you that you would want to resolve if you're lucky enough to become the next chairman. You've also told us about the $1 a day. What are some of the other things that are on your manifesto per se, or things that you plan to deliver when you become the chairperson?
Okay, and this is not unique. It's not unique to me. It's just something that can help all of us. Mm-hmm. When you currently Google NDC USA, nothing really comes up. And so if you want to build a serious organization these days in time, not like in President Nkrumah's time, a website is pretty good. So at this time that we're having election, we have all election data. We have a current branch chairman and executives, their pictures over there. We have telephone numbers to be able to reach leadership and all that. And so when someone goes in there and then is able to type in such a thing, this information is readily available. Now, you must also know that investors all over the world keep scouting websites to see where the next opportunity is for them to make an investment. And when there is we see that the economy right now is really much in shambles, and that there's going to be a change likely in 2024. Speculators like to put their money somewhere to see how best can we help to build this country. And so when they go to the website, they'll be able to have and access the people who are in leadership over here to be able to start a conversation, to be able to set meetings up with them back in Accra. So we put ourselves in a place whereby you don't have to jump through hoops. You go to one page and that is happening. For myself, I think it's very easy because I've just recently piloted a website for myself. It's very easy to do. And we have a lot of professionals who in this country who have had a specialized training and in fields of IT and other places. They'll be able to help if we do the funding or provide the proper leadership to be able to lend these trainings and lay it at the disposal of the chapter and also at the same time at the disposal of the national party. So together, not just by me, but providing the leadership and then for our comrades to be able to buy into it, I think we'll be able to do that. And it's a simple thing. It's not like I'm the first person to suggest it or something, but we should provide the leadership in order to be able to do that. And it's going to be helpful for all of us, to be able to do that. You go in there, you know how many branches you have, who are the chairman, you'll be able to make a call immediately, emails, policies. Others will also help to write alternative policies for our party. All those things will be there, the data will be there, and then we'll be able to work together. But I am not asking that I do this on my own. I am reaching out to all our lovely comrades who have ideas but are sitting on those ideas to come forth, bring those ideas, join our team, let's put it together. Let's hear from the NDC USA people that we are trying to lead ourselves. They bring the ideas. It shouldn't be just from the candidates. It should be from them as well. What do you want to see in an NDC USA chapter? It is a conversation that can be had. And then we should decentralize the top and get the branches involved as well in decision making. Everybody feels happy and everybody feels a sense of belonging. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so I know you're running against a few people. Who are your opponents, and what do you say differentiate you from your opponents? Why should people vote for you rather than your opponents?
You see, for this one here, I want to leave that to the discerning voters and focus on speaking about myself. I mean, so far I only know of one person who has declared. I don't know if whether 10 more people are going to declare. We haven't even gone into vetting yet. So I may be speaking to you over here today, and tomorrow. I may even be taken out through vetting. But the point is that I'm on record to have said and spoken my mind on certain issues, and I will be available to be able to help to promote NDC USA chapter when it comes to national political affairs in Ghana. And so I will leave it at that.
Okay. Anyway, great. We've taken so much of your time today, but before you leave, are there other things that you would like to share with my viewers and listeners that you haven't already said before you leave?
Well, I want to say that this is not a time to say, try me, test me, try me. As you know, the current government in Ghana said, try me.
Yeah,
I've already been there. I've been a branch chairman, so I've gathered experience from the branch. I've been recently re-elected. I've gone through the criteria which was laid down by the chapter, and I went through. And so we have set that precedence of following procedures, and we have done that. I was also selected by my colleagues, both from opposing camps, and they were able to work with me. So I've done that. I'm also receptive of dissenting views. And not to say there are no dissenting views in Massachusetts. There are a lot of tough people here in Massachusetts. And so with this caption, very simply, it's not time to test me. I've gathered the experience and I'm here. And so this is what I live with. The only thing, like I said, is I'm going to try to sharpen my dancing skills, and then I'll sharpen my singing skills and my smiling skills as well.
Right. We definitely want you to participate in the big dance that we would be having after 2024 when the results are announced, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining the show today. We really appreciate you for spending this time to share your background and your vision for the party in the USA. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Muzu. And again, thank you to your cherished listeners as well, taking their time off their busy schedules here to be online and to listen to me. Thank you very much.
Yes. You have been watched by a lot of people, and I'm sure they appreciate everything you had to share with them today. So thanks. We will bring you back if you have the time and you want to spend some time to talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we will start the second part of this today's show, which is to analyze what we heard from the presidents last Sunday. We'll be right back.
Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid Health Insurance Program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. Documents needed to apply: your proof of ID, your proof of address, and your proof of income.
All right, welcome back to the show. If you are just joining, you missed a big interview with the chairman of the Massachusetts branch of NDC, Mr. Kojo Aggor. Go back and watch that. But anyway, here for the second segment of the show, here with Lifetime Legacy. Lifetime, can you hear me?
Yeah, Fred, I can hear you.
Perfect. So let me bring in Lifetime Legacy so we can start the second segment of our show today, which is we heard from the president last Sunday, where he addressed the nation with regards to the current situation we find ourselves in, which is high inflation, high interest rates, increasing prices every day, high petroleum. We also joined by Kojo DC. So in a nutshell, we are going through difficult times in Ghana today. And as we all expected, we wanted to hear from our president and, kind of understand solutions and things that he and his team are working on that would release the pressure on the citizenry. And he did that on, Sunday. So I want us to talk about that. But Lifetime, you've heard your chairman from Massachusetts, who's also running for chairman of the chapter, just address the show with his plans for the chapter if he's lucky enough to become the next chairperson. Have you heard anything that you're so excited about that you want to comment on quickly before we jump into our show?
Thank you so much, Alfred. Thank you to offer me the opportunity to be on the platform once again. My greetings to our viewers and listeners, and also my brother Kojo for joining the show. We are also expecting the others to join so that we can have a healthy discussion as far as our country is concerned. Now, back to my senior comrade at Massachusetts. I've gotten the chance of meeting him twice. The first one was the program organized in Ohio, and the second one was chapter secretary's father's funeral in Chicago. That is the only time I've gotten the chance of seeing him in person. Well, like as a politician, I can, at this material time, wish every person who is contesting well, and as that they all conducted themselves very well, knows that we are one family with a common destiny. At this material time, the biggest task is that we have a united front to unseat the clueless, visionless, purposeless, directionless Akuffo Addo and his cabinet. That is what Ghanaians are yearning for, and having us as the alternative and hope to come and redeem them. So I can only wish everybody well and admonish that they go into the election with the heart that everybody is a potential winner and everybody is a potential loser. In such situations, you should accept it, and we should know that the party is supreme. And for that matter, when whatever the outcome of the result is, you accept it as it is for us to have a united front to face our common opponents. I will not describe them as any because we are organized, and then take the power from them. But I think that is all that I can say for now.
Perfect. That's good. Okay, so let's start the conversation. But Lifetime, if you can, I don't know, the window you have, if you can close the blind behind you because there's so much light coming from behind you, or if you can turn to face the light face the window instead of turning your back to it. So either you close the window or you just face the window, and it gives you a better picture that way. All right. Thanks for your submission there. Let me bring in Kojo. Kojo, can you hear me?
Yes, Aggor.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Pretty good. It's good to hear from you again. Of course.
Good to hear from you. I had to hide behind the camera for today. I am really tired. I just got home. For the respect for you and the show and the audience, I have to be here. That's why I'm here. So forgive me for hiding behind the cameras and speaking, but it's me, Kojo DC. And,
yes, fantastic. We
just
always
to clarify that. Yeah,
no problem at all.
Yeah, first of all, I say hi to all the viewers and listeners at the same time. And my brother, Lifetime Legacy. I hope the others will join us and yourself. Concerning the let me ask this question. Ours is different. So the chapter means, is that the entire USA, right, of the NDC?
Yeah, the chapter is the entire USA.
Okay. I think the current chairperson is a lady from Ohio, right?
Yes, Mamiya, but she was on the show I think 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I missed.
And we had one-on-one with her as well.
I've met her before at Evans Thanksgiving, so all of them were there. So that is fine. Popeye known as Phil Marshall. That's how everybody knows him when it comes to politics. Yeah. First of all, I wish him all the best. As politicians, we all go through this, so we have to go. But he was saying something that was so. I was like, you see, the NDC even still in the position they can't even tally their own thing. They don't even have a website for. We are talking about USA NDC, man. We have the.
Maza. Do fear some why?
Wow,
Anyway, let's
membership. But don't get into yourself too much. Don't worry about it. I'm not reaching you too much. I'm just saying this is like this is the 20th century. So the NDC should that's why it tells you they don't have anything for Ghana, Even you can organize yourself.
All right, no problem. All right, let's go to
Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
I think my brother Kojo should not be happy with this. Okay. Sometimes it is no information that are well put out there. So if you don't have a website for whatever reason, I don't think it's a big news where Kojo will capitalize on it and say that for that matter, when the country Ghana is given to us, we'll be able to govern. They don't have the website. This is the outcome of the website.
All right.
Can I just make a point?
No. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Just for 30 seconds. Just for please give me this. Please.
Okay. Take 30 seconds.
For God's sake, I'm not the one who is saying this is a member of the NDC saying it. It means that there's some kind of distrust over there, right? So that's why I am not saying. I'm just echoing whatever the chairman said, and that's it.
Okay. Awesome. All right, so Kojo, let's start from you. We've heard from our president, and he came out with 12 points of things that he believes would get us out of our current economic hardship or the economic situation that is being faced currently in Ghana, where inflation is out of control, interest rates are out of control, which again is having a debilitating impact on exchange rates. And of course, with that comes high prices for almost everything. Petroleum now, my understanding is about 17 or so cedis per liter, or even more. So listening to the president, the very 12 things that he came out with were: one, he's going to restore the macroeconomic stability through an IMF supported program. That's the first one. So, I mean, are you comforted after listening to the president?
Yeah, thank you once again, Amazu, and my brother. First of all, the MPP government knows the cry of the Ghanaian people. We empathize with them. We know there's hardship. The president has admitted it. The party has admitted it. And you can see even there's a revolt in between ourselves asking people to be sacked. That tells you the kind of situation that we are in. We understand that. Yes. It's not just something that even though I would take some part of the blame, it might not be policy, but it might be some part of management, some decisions that were taken would have cost us in a certain way, all in the name of good for the Ghanaian people. Now, this is our promises that were made to the Ghanaian electorate, and that's supposed to be fulfilled. And we have to do it at a cost. Everything costs money. You understand? So we do understand where gas prices are. It's unbearable. Even here in the US, me and you, we know how it just changed like a week to 2 weeks ago. The prices just jumps up back again. We were thinking
I believe your voice is a little lower today.
Is it? Yeah, I'm
So,
tired.
yeah.
Like I said, I am a little bit tired. I just came back home. I had a truck broke up on the road, so I had to go bring my boy to bring it. That's why. So
oh no.
Forgive me for that. Yeah. So forgive me for that. But like I said, so what I'm saying is, in a nutshell, yes, those 12 points that the president outlined. Are they something that is going to immediately change anything going on? No, I don't think so. You understand? And I always be frank with you. We all know the structure of our economy, right? We know what we have to do. We've been complaining, both NDC and PPA will be doing the same thing. When we go into this situation, then we bring out all sorts of things that we are supposed to be doing before even this will happen, right? So we'll play with Ghanaians. Now the president has spoken. Is it going to change anything? Not I'm aware of. It has been some way, because at the end of the day, it's gasoline or gas or petrol that is causing all the increment in everything that is going on. The government says it's finding another way out. As I sit here, I don't know. The information minister has come out. Government is on his way doing that. Let's see it, and then we can speak to that. For now, the Ghanaian people should bear with us. It's very difficult. If you look at here in America, Biden gave us all the monies. They gave us everything. They gave us all the. Still, people are voting against them. You understand? Even them, they are doing it. So, and this very particular time, in terms of any party in power, is very difficult because of the global issues that is affecting everything, basically everything. And I'm not saying this in any light way. You people understand it. You live in a house, you give money, and your wife come home, and you know that thing is not anything now. So we'll plead with the Ghanaians that they should bear with them. We are working very hard to make sure we can bring things down. There are so many things that is not our control that we cannot determine. We wish we could do best for Ghanaian people to have some trust in us again. Thank you.
All right. That is a very honest and straightforward answer coming from Kojo. I didn't expect that, but I thought you were going to be a little combative today. Let me bring in Dr. Ofori, who just joined us. Dr. Ofori, welcome to the show. I said Dr. Ofori. I'm talking about my own Dr. Komina Danso. Doc, welcome to the show. We cannot hear you, Doc, so check your sound. No, we still can't hear you. Okay. As Dr. Addo works on his sound, let me go to Lifetime Legacy. Dr. Addo, please work. Yeah, I think he's going out and he will come back in. Let's talk to Lifetime Legacy. Lifetime Legacy. I'm going to go over the 12 things so that we can put things in perspective, right? So the first thing the president said is he's going to restore the macroeconomic stability through an IMF-supported program. The second thing he said he's going to do is he's going to tackle the cost of living by working to stabilize price of petroleum products through new supply arrangements. So there is apparently some supply arrangements that the president is contemplating, but like Kojo says, we want to see it, then we can believe it. The third thing he said he was going to do is encourage traders to tone down profiteering, which is contributing to inflationary pressures. I just don't get that part. I guess what he's saying is he wants traders to reduce prices. That's the way it makes economic sense for the traders. So now, We'll see. We'll see how that happens. And then the fourth thing is he's going to restore debt stability, sustainability by reducing debt to GDP ratio to 55% by 2028. I don't know, man. You know, your term, his term is over in 2024. So, what is he going to do now? I think what we were looking for really is solutions for today, rather than solutions that would incumbent the next administration. Okay, and then the 15 he talked about is improve national resources by rate. Is it improve national resources and liquidity by raising revenue from 13 to 18 or 20% of GDP. Yeah, our revenue generation is currently at 13%. I don't know how soon he think he's going to be able to increase it from 13 to 18% or to 20%, but that is one of the things he said. He said he's going to pursue an inclusive growth while protecting the poor. How do you do that with the e-levy? He's going to say energy sector reforms to reduce the risk of the sector to the budget. Okay. He's going to reduce debt, budget rigidities by capping statutory funds. Continue with efforts to reduce central government expenditure through budget cuts of 30%, which is already told us he already did. This is before all the issues that we are currently facing. So whether the reduction is actually working or not is yet to be seen. He says that he's going to start the process of discouraging importation of rice, poultry, vegetable oil, fruit juices. But again, he put a timeline on that. He said that would happen in May, not this year. He also said he's going to tackle currency speculation to limit volatility to the city, and he's going to ensure no haircuts to treasury bill holders in the debt restructuring strategy. But then, you know, his Minister of Information came right back to say, oh, by the way, that's not entirely true. It's going to be haircuts, except that those haircuts will not touch your principles, but it will be on your interests. Now, since Dr. Addo is back, let me pick it from Dr. Addo, and then we'll come back to your lifetime. Dr. Addo, you're encouraged. Do you think the things the president came to say are going to in any way deal with the current problems we are faced with? Oh, Dr. Addo, your phone again. Oh. Okay. Lifetime, take it over.
Yeah, Alfred, thank you. Alfred, I think first and foremost, it must be established that the president in the first place did not intend to address Ghanaians upon this crisis we found ourselves.
Right.
He was begged and forced by Ghanaians to talk to them.
Okay.
Because there were lots of calls from people in the media, people in the civil society, and people from the opposition. He was adamant in addressing the nation until he noticed that the opposition leader is trying to be more leader than him. That pushed him out to come and address the nation.
Right.
Alfred, the things you have just mentioned, to be sincere, for you to be sincere with us, which of them are you convinced with? Is it one thing that makes also funny of the president's approach to this is going to fight the black market? Alfred, my family members have been in the US for close to 30 years. So it's nothing at all. The black markets have been in existence for more than 30 years, as far as my knowledge is concerned.
Right.
And nobody has attempted to go after them for a reason that the CD, they are the cause of the situation.
Right.
This is the only president who is going after them, claiming that it is the cause of the situation. Nana Addo, in pointing finger to the causes of the problem, have never himself admitted of wrongdoing or contributing to the problem. He have never. And he have not demonstrated enough commitment to show that he want the situation we found ourselves reverse in a shortest possible time. Why am I saying this? People call from all walks of life on him to reduce the number of ministers and the government appointees. So if he wants to demonstrate commitment to his own words, genuinely, we expect him to reduce the number of ministers he has, the number of government appointees at the presidency and other state institutions. There we take him serious. You get it? You have not done any of these things. You only came back to tell us the very thing you were telling us when you wanted the office. From look of things, Nana Addo knows very well that he have nothing absolutely to lose. Should the election be held tomorrow or tomorrow next or 2024, you have nothing to lose. And for that matter, to hell with everybody and the things that are going on within the country. He have already enriched himself and his family. To help to everybody who will call for a solution to the economic crisis we find ourselves now.
Right.
He is also talking about getting a crude from somewhere. If he's somebody who is serious and mean what he's saying, Ghanaians are asking that there are too many taxes on the petroleum products. Reduce those taxes.
Right.
Okay. He's adamant on those ones and want to bring a cheaper word from where. So you see the dishonesty from his part. The man can never be trusted. You get it? And Ghanaians have turned it to be, they have seen the president as a no serious person, but rather a comedian. That is how Ghanaians have seen him now. Most especially with the famous Sikam PDD, what do you call it, joke he put on the dissing. I think governance is serious business, and Nana Addo and his men must get serious.
All right. Kojo, let me ask. The president say money don't like noise. All right. What is the meaning of that, especially for times like this? What was he trying to communicate?
Thank you very much, Amazon. Before I even go on with that, let me just put certain things in perspective before. The fact that my brother, Lifetime Legacy, is saying that the president did not want even to speak, he was forced. That is not the case. So I just want to put that out there. And then the most important thing why the president came out to speak is to tell the Ghanaian people, this is not something that, yes, we are in government, but this is so many things that are beyond us. And Sikam PDD means one thing. People are speculating. I was asking myself, even here when things were booming, you could see friends of mine every week or 2 weeks or at least a month, they do container. Now nothing is going. So I was asking myself, so speculation about we are going to have a shortage of goods in December, right? And the dollar is still shooting up. And mostly the dollar, if you look at the pattern of the dollar, right? Mostly in August when people are going for shopping to bring it out for Christmas, the dollar shoots up and then it comes down. But in this case, we are in where? September, October, and the dollar is just shooting up. What was the need for, right? But that is what we have at the moment. So it is what it is. But we all know that when people speculate, because the dollar, every cedi on a dollar in Ghana is very dumb. I used to have those business, so I know how it works. So when people are speculating, I understand it because it makes a lot of sense to have your dollar in your pocket all day in Ghana. It doesn't matter whose government is in power. You're still going to be good.
Right.
Because there's no way the Ghana city is going to be able to compete with the US dollar, which is a tender of purchase for everywhere in the world. Unless recently with the Ukraine war, Russia is taking rupees for their payment. So yes, but I just want to tell my brother, listen, we are in difficult times. Everybody admits it. Nobody's going to spin this. And you can't spin it anyway because the people can feel it in their pockets and their homes. The truth of the matter is we're in a difficulty. How can we all come together and solve this? Because, for instance, he's talking about the president has nothing to lose. Let's assume it is true. If government has to change hands tomorrow morning and Nana Akufo say, President Mahama, former President Mahama, please come for it, would anything change? Yeah, people will be eased out for a minute because it's just change of people in position. But our programs and everything, our economy is the same. Nothing can be changed in a second. So how do we come together as people to resolve this? And then we'll do our politics when everything is fine. Because listen, you can bash me today, and for me, I'm a man enough to be able to admit that things are not right. But when the table turns, and I'm doing the same to you, I'm not hurting you, I'm hurting Ghana. And we've been doing this for 30-something years. It must stop.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's see if Dr. Addo's mic works now. Doctor, can you check your mic for us? He may be frozen. Dr. Addo? I think he's frozen.
I know what I thought today.
Yeah, something is going on. Okay. All right, guys. Why don't we take a quick break and then see if Dr. Addo will fix his stuff and then.
Fred.
Yeah.
You see, my brother Kojo is now calling that people should support the government for us to resolve the situation.
Right.
I want to remind my brother Kojo, when there was one party in power just about 6 years back, faced this situation, and they extended a hand of invitation to the then opposition, what was their response? That is question number one. Two, Sika Pedede in Nana Akuffo's administration, but Sika Pedede, when Mahama was in government, was he not the same person who was telling her, yet Sika so,
let me answer this.
So at that time, there is Sika Pedede. You see, governance is about, like I said, it's a serious business. The message is good as the messenger. You get it? So Nana Akufo in opposition cannot be telling us one thing, and when he had the rain and it's raining now, confronted with the worst economic situation in the history of the country, where serious solutions and serious thinking is needed, he come and tell us when he was planning the public luxurious jets chartering $18,000 per hour, the Ghanaians were telling him that, hey, the place what we are doing with our money will not help us. Now you want us to help you to solve the solution.
Okay.
If he thinks that he cannot govern the nation, he should put it aside and leave.
All right,
and he knows in the history, because where we have found ourselves now, the history have recorded it already, that he has been the most worst president Ghana have ever had since independence. He has been the most useless president who have gotten a lot of resources than all presidents combined from independence, but have provided a worse economic situation. History will also come to attest that he is the only person who have strived so hard more than 40 years to become a president, and he got it and failed. History will record this.
All right.
His great-grandchildren will come and read this.
Okay. All right, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, I don't want us to do another. We'll come back and continue. Let's take a quick break.
Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid Health Insurance Program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. Documents needed to apply: your proof of ID, your proof of address, and your proof of income.
All right, welcome back to the show. This is the segment where we are discussing the address to the nation by the president given on Sunday, addressing the issues that are currently ripe with our economy and his solutions to these problems. Not lifetime. Kojo, you were going to speak before I interrupted. Kojo, let me ask, were you disappointed by what you heard? Did anything disappoint you, or did anything you did not hear that you were expecting to hear caused you to be disappointed?
No, I wasn't disappointed at all. First of all, the purpose of the president's address was to speak to the Ghanaian people.
Okay.
And you can see, my brother said, the president did not admit any fault of his. He admitted things I had. Didn't he? What else
like what? What did he admit? What was these admissions?
Yeah, but things I had. Is that not what we are calling? We are complaining about all over the world. Things I had. Okay. Yeah, because situation have changed. It's not just it's not something that is just happening in Ghana. It's something that is happening all over the world, and you know it. I know it. Mm-hmm. So that's how it's supposed to be. And then also thinking about, you say why I'm not disappointed, because the purpose of it is to speak to the Ghanaian people and tell them, hey, we understand there are certain things that we are doing to support, but it's not enough. But could you please bear with us so we can be able to do these things, right? So do it in the proper way. And like I said, you didn't mention all those 12 points to me. You did it to my brother, but I just wanted to let you know that at the end of the day, all those things that were pronounced on the day, we all know it. Like when the former president said the same thing when he made his lectures, I said the same thing on your show. We all know these things, and when we are coming into government, we all preach, we're going to do this at the end of the day. As we speak now, my brother said, cut your ministers. Has the NDC, which is being, for God forbid, or I would say, in unlikely event, if they have to come, what is the alternative? They haven't given any alternative as to what is going on, what they can do. They travel into the foreign country, they speak about COVID-19, Ukraine war, and they come to Ghana and say, Akuffo Addo is not doing well. But we all know well that this thing is not something that is only solely of Ghanaians or by the government in power. But this is external forces that is beyond our control. We don't control how much gasoline diesel is sold in the world market, or crude oil is sold in the world market. You know that. I know that. We can't change it. In 2015, we deregulated, right? Everything is done by no government support, nothing. We are not doing anything. So at the end of the day, what can we do as people? My brother, yes, I wasn't in the NPP, when the former president John Mahama called for dialogue. I thought it was a bad idea, because at the end of the day, he was calling for the good of Ghana. There are certain things like this hardship that we're going through now. do you think it's only affecting NDC people? No, it's affecting everybody in Ghana, including MP, people even in government, because their family members are asking them, they think they are in government, they also don't have it because there's no money. So for once, we don't have to do this political equalization. You did it. We did it to you too, from 1992 to 2000. You did it 2000 to 2008, and then it reversed. And you're doing the same. We should stop it. There should be somewhere that we all will stop and say, "Hey, can we think about Ghana in terms of the economic side of it, the school side of it, the road side of all those things?" And then the way we'll do it in politics. Is that something one day we all can just come to that conclusion and say we will stop bashing each other, but just focus for the Ghanaian people instead of thinking about ourselves being in power?
See, Lifetime Legacy is dozing off a little bit for me. Lifetime, you're tired too, right? Okay, great. Okay, so
I have a laptop before me, so I'm doing something also.
Okay, no problem. Let's do one more round of questions and then we can bring it to an end. Lifetime. Paul is also in now. Lifetime, were you disappointed? Were you disappointed about something that you heard or something that you were expecting to hear but you didn't hear anything about?
I am not disappointed at all.
Okay.
Since Nana Akufo and his family have assumed office, but anytime they come to address the very thing they will talk, you can predict that nothing good will come out of it. Okay, so for me, all that he came to mention, it's like an usual thing that he used to do, and he's just coming to throw it out there to get some of the media people to be running after it. And so for me, I wasn't surprised, and I knew very well it won't contain anything serious. Like it came to pass, nothing serious was in it. So I wasn't surprised of anything. Do I have expectation? No. Because the current situation is going to get worse. Because the very things that he's supposed to do, if prior to his address, he cut the number of ministers, reduced the government of appointees, reduced the workers in the Fasa house, before coming to tell us something, then we will take him serious. He haven't done any of those, and he only came to waste our time, and for me, I call it a waste of time.
Okay. Paul, welcome to the show. The question on the floor is whether you heard anything from the president's speech or didn't hear something that caused you to be disappointed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muzu. And once again, I'm grateful to be here this afternoon. As you know, as a campaign manager, I have to debrief and then look at, the way forward and how we can move on with my candidate. That I am hopeful and I'm very prayerful that he will be the next NDC USA chairman to take us far. As may that it may be, I think my personal self, I'm standing for election as the secretary for the chapter, and I am available anytime you want to drill me, bring me on. I'm available to answer your questions. With that said, let me say that obviously, the speech from the president was visionless, aimless, emptyless, directionless, and full of repetition of the things we know he keep on saying. All we heard from that speech was fellow Ghanaians blaming people apart from himself. The reason why this president is going through this difficulty is that he's one person who has refused to take responsibility right from day one. He has never taken responsibility on anything that happens under his administration. And as a leader, to be able to solve the issue, the first step of solving the mess we are in is for him to admit the responsibility and say that this mess is under my leadership, and I take sole responsibility I'm ready to work and bring people on board for us to resolve it. Until he does that, he's just wasting our time. Look, listening to him and comparing to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, you could see a very big difference in those two speeches. Whilst His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is giving pragmatic steps and procedures and processes that we can put in place to alleviate the suffering of our good people of Ghana, he came there full of blame game, full of not taking responsibility, full of, telling us things that we already know. The question we speak or we ask today, as we speak, is what stops him from cutting down on his number of ministers? As of now, you have 86. What stops him from dropping them to maybe 60 or 65? What stops him from doing that? What stops him from merging some of the ministries together to cut down operational costs? What stops him from doing that? What stops him from cutting down the number of presidential staffers in the presidency? What stops him from doing that? What stops him from stopping to put the seat he sits on in a V8 forward with the taxpayers' money? What stops him from doing that? What stops him from still renting private jet? What stops him from doing that? These are the things we are expecting as a leader for him to tell us that, fellow Ghanaians, it has gotten to a level where I need to cut down on these things. Nothing of that sort. And the question I put to myself and I put to Ghanaians is that he said they are going to cut down 30% salary. As we speak, the Auditor General has not come out to tell us that when they made this promise as far back in February, how much they'll be able to save. We don't know. This is also another, propaganda statement from the president. For me, I still and I'll support the call from Martin Pebu and co. It has come to a level whereby the president, Nana Akuffo Addo, the visionless, the aimless, the directionless, the blameless, who always put blame on people, to step down. Look, one of the mantra or one of the things he said, which is people are mocking him about, is that Sikam pay the day. I am here this afternoon to tell him that Sikam pay mismanagement. If you have money and you are mismanaging, Sikam on pay mismanagement. So he should rather sit up and focus and manage well. One other thing too I want to bring to his attention is that why is he stopping or is he running away from firing his cousin as the finance minister? If 95 of your parliamentarians have risen up against this very man, at least the president should see the wisdom. Now, it's not the NDC, it's not civil society, it's not Christian Council, it's not religious council, it is not other organizations in Ghana. It is his own members of parliament saying that do away with the Minister of Finance and his deputy because they are making monies of us. Anytime Kenoforiata and Edu Boahen goes to the market, they make money into their private company. What stops you from releasing them from their post? Is he not trying to tell us that all the sense in the world is in the head of only Kenoforiata and Edu Boahen? Now, you remember he said that addressing Dr. Baromia. So how come that they gave the whole world wisdom to Baromia? How come that the economy is in mess? Where is Baromia? As much as we are calling upon the president to resign, I think he has to go with the Dr. Baromia and the Minister of Finance. I think I support 100% the call from Martin Pebu and his Ghanaians, common Ghanaians who are feeling the pain. Alfred, if I tell you the number of money I've sent this week, because look, my cousins, my friends, it's very, very disheartening. You have to. You cannot say you're not going to support. Even though we are not having it easy here, at least we should thank God that our economy is far, far better than what it is. And when they call us, you have to. This week, I've sent about 4 people support. I have to support 4 different people. Because I understand the plight and the pain in which they are. For me, the president has failed. Those are our MPP friends and colleagues who will come and defend them. And they should bow their head in shame. They should come out boldly and speak and condemn and support the call of Martin Pebu and some people like us to get the president to step down, and let's have a new election and let's get a new president. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul, for the spirited presentation there. Let's do last words and bring today's program to an end. I'm going to start with Lifetime Legacy. Lifetime Legacy, give us your last words for the week. Anything that perhaps you want to discuss that we may not have discussed that you want to leave us with? Yeah.
The president, Ghanaians are suffering. The president should stop the Yampia and get serious.
Okay.
He met the GPRTU and the transport operators and told them that he will not, the cost of fuel will remain stabilized for some time. Just after they left the place, the next day, it was increased again.
Right.
Last week, a friend of mine in UK was in Ghana. At a point in time, I have to support him with fuel. Because when I did the calculation, it's like 1 gallon is around 70 plus or 80 plus now. I think Nanado and his men should sit up. Like I said, it's not too late. They can live.
How much are you paying for 1 gallon here in the US?
As of this morning, is 4.05.
So if you're paying 4.05, and the exchange rate is about 13.5, right? Or
yeah.
13.2. Okay, 13.2. That's about some $53 per gallon. 53 cedis per gallon. But they are buying it for 70 per gallon. So it's a little more. I think it's all those taxes that they pile up on.
So that is what we are asking. He do something about it.
Okay.
Get it. And Alfred, also, even though you have done the calculation, I would disagree with you in a way because we know what contributes to the $13 situation now. You get it. So at a normal circumstance, the price wouldn't have been, even though it's $4.5. If it hadn't been the worst situation within the country, the exchange rate will not go to 30, let alone for us to be having 50 plus. I don't know if I'm making sense to you.
Right.
So they need to sit up. Kojo, my advice to you is, or I'm calling on you to advise your kinsman. If he thinks that things are difficult for him and he can. Ohun kotokra emfa ekra nshemwa. Oma ya kwenyano. Onyaho. Na sebi o. Amua amuda soja da no mbefa kwenyano no munye ni. Oma no munye ni.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lifetime, for making the time again today and helping with the discussions. Kojo, last words so we can go and all get some rest.
I always say this, and I'm paraphrasing the former President Barack Obama. He said, it's easy to complain than to comment. He said, more people can complain or lament, and few people can bring ideas. And that happens anytime in your position. It's easier said than that. You can say anything and get away with it. And my brother told me that at the end of the day, the dollar will come back to 4 cedi 20% when they were leaving office. I guess not. So we should all think about the country Ghana. I understand the difficulty that the Ghanaian people are facing now, and it's true. Here, there are a little bit of opportunity. I already said it. Even Democrats who are doing their best, and we all can testify to that. If every poll, the Republican people are not saying anything. They are not giving anything. But at the end of the day, they are winning. And that is how humans are. But it seems the Ghanaian people sometimes, like you said already, say, oh, why is the president proposing 8 years to have a GDP of 53 point something in 8 years? I mean, we're a country, we are developing. It's something that you have to set go. We had, what is it, 2020 gold? We never even thought it was coming. It came and it gone. We have to plan ahead. So at the end of the day, for me, this is a hard time for Ghana. This is a hard time for the country, and then the party itself. We'll bear with the Ghanaian people to exercise some patience for us. We are working hard to bring things back like we came to made in 2016 when we were growing 3.7. Even at these very difficulties, we are still growing around 5 point something yearly compared to them, right?
You're not growing at 5. You're not growing at 5%. Stop
the
it.
NDC is not alternative for the Ghanaian people.
They've cooked figures since they took the reign, and it's lead up to this situation. They are cooking the figures again.
We are not cooking. You see, that's why at the end of the day, when we talk about government, we're not talking about government being MPP just me. We have members of parliament, 137 members of parliament with the NDC. We are part of the government. They are part of every loan that we've taken, every loan that we've taken. The NDC voted for it. So when you talk about government, the fact that they have the executive, you're still part of government. Nothing has gone through parliament without the consent of the NDC. So you people are not doing your work. And I borrowed the former president's own word. Or more that a parliament. That's what he told us when we say he was not doing anything. It's the same thing that you guys doing. At the end of the day, you can't even have a website. So how can you even be organized? And like I said, Ghanaian people, you understand, this party is just people who just want to come, have power, enjoy the power. They have nothing to offer the Ghanaian people. They can talk very articulate people, which I love them, but they can do the action when the action is given to them. And we know what happened from when we were growing 14.5 in 2011, and then we came back all the way. There was nothing like COVID. There was nothing like the Ukraine war.
Okay, guys, we gotta. This is just last words. It's not for the base no more. So I think we've done it. All right, let me bring in.
No, let me land, Alfred.
Okay, land.
Let me land. Yeah, you should let me land. So
let him go. Okay, we gotta go.
This is a country we all love. At the end of the day, we should come together to build it.
Kojo,
like I said, it's nice.
My brother Kojo, MPP and Anado.
Go ahead. Okay.
Let me just. So I thank you, Alfred, as always. I'm today really tired, so forgive me with my voice. I just came home and I have to be here. And hello to my brother Paul. You said you're going for the secretary, right?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Okay. I'm supporting you. People, the NDC people I know, or Dr. Orange, them, I'll ask them to unless they are you're going for the same thing. I don't think so. They should vote for you. We'll see. Maybe you change your propaganda once you become a official.
All right.
Did I hear you say propaganda? Did I hear you say propaganda?
Paul Disosu, give us your last words, please.
Okay. So can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so let me start by saying that, you see, my brother could be grateful to be here. The rest of them have run away. Our brother, in fact, and then the other guys who will be on the platform, they're making noise. I don't see them. This is the time for them to come and speak. This is the time for them to come. We want to hear from them. But I'll give it to Kojo that he's still coming to defend his party. Even though his party is performing abysmally, he's always here to defend him. That's a good job. But I heard him saying that they cannot even create a website. What does it mean by they cannot even create a website? Is he talking about the NDC?
Paul, can you increase your sound a little bit? We can barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
can you hear me now?
Yes, that's the word I'm talking about.
Okay, so let me put it on record that with the NDC chapter, yes, it might have been that we don't have a website, but I can tell you that my candidate that just spoke some hours ago has created a website for himself. And myself, I have a website for myself. And I will state it over here. If you want to go to my website, go to www.pdisosu.org. And if you want to go to that of my candidate, is www.kojoaggor.org. This is what we are bringing. This is why we are asking that our comrades in the US should vote for us, because we have done it. It's not that we are coming to do, we've done it before. And when we come, that will be one of the projects I personally will champion to make sure that we get our website running. As much as I've said that, let me come to the political issue. Look, my brother DC was trying to say that the economic growth is going 5.4. That is a lie. That is outright lie. My brother, this is a very big platform. And when we are churning out figures, we should double check it. The economic growth rate is not 5.4. It is a lie. Number two, let's also put in a record that as we speak, hold on. Let's also put on record as we speak. The reason why you're having difficulties with the IMF is that because you've been churning Verdu figures because you've been lying about the economy to the good people of Ghana. Now you've gone to the IMF, you have to present the real figures, and you guys are having challenges. That is why the negotiation is delaying, is dragging, and is going to implement or it's going to take effect next year around January, February. That is why the senior minister, that is why the majority leader stated last week in Parliament that they don't even know if you can be able to read the budget. So I beg you, when we are talking, let's talk based on facts. Number two, I am here to say, and I'm going to say it again.
You're talking about fact, but you haven't given me any alternative figure beside what I've told you.
The alternative figure, I mean,
Kojo, this is last words. I mean, we can reserve the debate for the next show, please.
Yeah, I'm just going to end up by saying that. I mean, when you are in a glass house, you throw a stone, okay? The stone will come after you. And this is what is happening to Nana Akufo and his government. They lied, they misinformed Ghanaians, they throw dust in the eyes of the good people of Ghana. And it's hitting them big time. I feel very bad. It's unfortunate, but the time has come for all of us to bring our minds together. Let's fix Mother Ghana. Mother Ghana is introgressing. Ghana is introgressing under Nana Akufo, and we don't want this thing to happen. Upon this note, Alfred, I just want to thank you very much for giving audience to my candidates, and I'm waiting for you to grant me one-on-one. And I also want to announce on your show that on Wednesday, there will be time with Paul Disosu, a webinar whereby people should come and ask me any question at all they want. I'm ready to answer them. This is what we do as service. We service the people. We are going to provide integrity, relevancy, vibrant service, and then truth. I'm going to speak truth to power. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, for stopping by today. Thanks to the audience for sticking with us for the last 2 hours. We really appreciate it. Togbi Hanyo of Aflau has just notified me that Hugbachucho Festival, which is the festival of the people of Anglo, is currently ongoing. So please, join. I think there's a Facebook feed for that you can watch. I think Asantehini, it's also there witnessing this year's festival. All right. On that note, I'm going to call it a day. Thanks for joining. You heard from Chairman Aggor, who's running for the NDC chairperson, USA chapter. And you've also heard from Paul Disosu, Lifetime Legacy, and Kojo DC today. Again, if it is Saturday, it's Ghana Agenda. My name is Alfred Amuzu. We'll be back next Saturday. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid Health Insurance Program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization